This is the brand new Ford Mustang, and this is a 4-cylinder turbo engine where you'd usually find a big V8. Which raises a question, is this a genuine Mustang or is it a donkey? Downsizing is one of the biggest buzzwords in the modern motoring industry, and not even iconic performance cars are immune for the hunt for better fuel economy. When the Mustang arrives in Australia next year, you'll get the choice of both the traditional 5-litre V8 and this new 2.3-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged EcoBoost engine. Now, while it's half the engine of the V8, it still puts out some impressive numbers: 231 kilowatts of power and 433 newton meters of torque. So how does that all translate on the road though? Well, I've just spent a day behind the wheel of the EcoBoost and its V8 sibling in and around LA. And I've got to say, it's impressive, the engine. You know, it's not a donkey. It would be unfair to say it's a disappointment. You know, it's a good engine that's got plenty of poke for a 4-cylinder. But that's really the caveat with it, for a 4-cylinder. You know, there's good mid-range. It's got decent punch, but compared to the V8, it's just missing something. It just lacks that real kick in the back that you get with the V8, which really, isn't that what you're buying a Mustang for anyway? Of course, one of the major benefits of a smaller capacity turbo engine is reduced fuel consumption. Now, on the surface, that appears to do the trick, using 9.4 litres per 100 k's on the combined cycle compared to the V8's 12.3 litres. Having said that though, there's a bit of an asterisk on that, because we've been driving in downtown LA, out in the canyon roads, having a bit of fun and, you know, using the performance of the engine, and we've actually used around 13 litres per 100k in the EcoBoost. Of course, we use a bit more in the V8, but if you want to get the performance that this engine offers, you know, you won't get the best out of its fuel figure. So there's a bit of a trade-off there. That's because the new engine is just part of the story with this 6th generation Mustang. The entire car has been overhauled and redesigned to ensure it's utterly contemporary and ready to fight the next generation Chevrolet Camaro. Under the skin, there's all new suspension front and rear, including, for the first time ever, a fully independent rear suspension setup for improved ride and handling. The Blue Oval also claims to have improved the weight distribution to 52-48 front to rear for the EcoBoost model for more balanced handling. The other big difference between the EcoBoost and the V8 is how they perform on the road. Obviously there's going to be little differences, but I'm actually surprised how big the differences are, how big it feels between the two cars. And the V8 really feels like a muscle car, you know, it feels tight and taut and quite stiff. It sits really flat in the corners and has more grip, I guess, you know, but we drove a V8 with a performance pack, so it's got bigger tyres, bigger brakes, bigger wheels, you know, grippier tyres. This thing, the EcoBoost, it's on smaller tyres, so it actually rides a bit better. It's a bit more comfortable around town, but it lacks the grip when you really get on edge on the open road. So again, there's a bit of a trade-off, but it gives these two cars, you know, very different personalities. So I guess it really comes down to what you're buying a Mustang for. The Mustang, both the EcoBoost and the V8 GT, will arrive in Australia in late 2015. And while the V8 is expected to be the most popular choice, the EcoBoost will undercut it with a starting price of around $50,000 compared to the GT's starting price of just over $60,000. So does that make this cheaper, less powerful 4-cylinder version a donkey? It's not a donkey, but the EcoBoost Mustang does lack the fizz and punch that you expect from a Mustang that you get with the V8. It's a good car, but in my mind, there's no substitute for cubic inches.